All right, here we go. Here we go. So today, the subject is pretty easy. We're gonna do a little bit of follow up on the Derek Lewis and Cyril Guns fight. Then we're gonna do a little bit of bark out on Coach Fernand Lopez. I mean, the bark out is not that heavy, that hard, that negative. Actually, there's a positive side, and there's maybe a little bit of a negative side to it. And after that, we'll shift and we'll follow up with the upcoming fight. So they say against opposing the two fighters that originate from the same gym, MMA Factory, and we know who they are, Cyril Gane and obviously Francis the Predator and Ngannou. So let's start first of all with the little bark out on Coach Fernand Lopez. So basically, after the win between Cyril Gane and Derek Lewis, between the win of Cyril Gane over Derek Lewis, I think that Coach Fernand Lopez, at that time, at that point, considered that he had the legitimacy to be able to speak his mind about the issue that is opposing, that did oppose him and Francis Ngannou, and the reason why he left the gym and that they're now in a certain situation in the standstill, and that they don't really get along anymore as they used to. Basically, to make a long story short, Fernando Lopez did blame or accuse Francis Ngannou of not talking enough about MMA Factory and himself. And the coaching that he had at MMA Factory, not only from Fernand Lopez, but from the other coaches that was there in those post-fight interview. And Also, it was what he said basically was that, okay, it's good. Okay, you're not talking about me. That's good. You don't talk about the gym. I understand that. No worries. But what is even worse is that when Francis Ngannou was saying, Laura, when he got his first defeat against Stipe Miocic in the first fight, that yes, he lost because Stipe Miocic had a better game plan than he had. And that's where Fernando Lopez got a little bit irritated and agitated at the same time, thinking that I understand that you don't want to talk about the gym. I understand that you don't want to talk about your coaches. I do understand that as well. But at least when people are trying to rip the gym apart, are trying to piece us down, giving a bad name to the gym and not the other coaches that I work there, but giving a bad name to my business that I spent a hard time and a long time creating and putting up together. That's an issue when you're saying that, right? And when you let people have that bad idea. I mean, you should at least be honest and say that, listen, my coaches gave me a game plan that I didn't follow. And to be honest with you guys, I would say that for any sportsman, what he's saying totally makes sense and will irritate a lot of people and me first. Uh, I don't think that this is right. I think that that's pretty egotistic, or people or Ngannou just don't have the brain to think about that. At that time, I don't understand what it is, but this is definitely not something that I could qualify as a team player. Basically, I mean, this is the least you can do to mention the name of your gym, to mention the name of your coaches, and also to defend them. And and I saw a show the other day, to the death, right? Because this is a family, and you need to understand that even if you're evolving in an individual sport, that the sport is only individual because you're one on one in the octagon. But what you see on the side, you see your corner, you got your coaches, you got your sparring partners, and it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I understand that Francis Ngannou did cross the sea. He did sleep outside under the bridge. He did bring himself to that point where he was noticed by Fernand Lopez, right? But at the end of the day, Fernand Lopez did open the gym to him, and did provide him with every facilities to be able to live his dream and to achieve what he did achieve right now. And I think that for that, that man deserve props and deserve recognition, definitely, right? And this is something that I'm 100% with with Fernando Lopez at that level. I mean, you do need to give some props to your family and to the people that have brought you from nothing basically to stardom to everything, right? It's as simple as that. And that, I think that Francis Ngannou did miss a good opportunity to do the good thing at that time. Now, this being said, right, I understand where Fernando Lopez is coming from, but I think that he should be a little bit careful not to get carried away, right? And to try to implicate like people that have nothing to do in there. And I think that there's a little bit of condescendence to be able to do that, right? Maybe it's a little bit egotistic. And again, maybe he thinks that he's allowed to say that after that victory, that it's not going to sound like he's jealous, because at the end of the day, he also has a belt, so he's not jealous of anything, right? So that did allow him. But there was a question asked for from our French friend last year, talking about like where does Fernand Lopez does rank himself in terms of coaching, right? Amongst the other coaches of the UFC. So he started to be humble. I understand that he couldn't like really qualify himself, but he started to give some example. Like, oh, I brought that guy. He wasn't doing well in some gyms, and I brought him. He came back, and then he started doing well. I brought that other guy, come back, started doing well, and he says that the list can go on and on and on. And after he said, I started mentioning the name of Eric Nipsick, and that's where I didn't really follow and I didn't really like, basically. Because why do you want to bring somebody else, except if you guys have some feud that I don't know? So why are you bringing the name of Eric Nipsick that has nothing to do with the story that we're talking about here? Saying that who has he brought up? Who has he brought up from nothing? And that you had brought two guys from nothing to everything, right? So I think that that's not good at that point to bring somebody else into that discussion. It's just alimenting, like putting more wood, more air into the fire, and making it burn a lot harder, right? A lot harder. So this is creating some feud, and I don't think that's a good thing. I think that maybe the belt is going a little, is getting people getting carried away, right? But I don't think that Eric Nipsick deserves that. He's training Francis Ngannou. That's all he's doing. He wants Francis Ngannou to win. That's what he wants to do, and he doesn't have to, to get bashed and people questioning, and because that's what it is, questioning his value in terms of coaching, right? I don't think that it is fair, basically. And at the end of the day, when we think about it, we're saying that Fernand Lopez brought two guys from nothing to everything. We shouldn't forget something here. The only person that he brought from nothing to everything is Francis Ngannou. And that's where we have to give Francis Ngannou props, right? Because this guy didn't have really experience in boxing. He didn't have any experience in boxing. He didn't have any experience in kickboxing. He didn't have any experiences in any martial arts, fighting martial arts. He didn't have anything. any knowledge of that, right? But Fernand Lopez did give him that experience and brought him to where he is today, to the first fight against Miocic that they lost, unfortunately, but unfortunately or fortunately, basically, and basically to the next fight, even if it's Nipsey that was in the corner, but I think that the artisan of that victory. We can put the name of Fernando Lopez. So he brought Ngannou from nothing to everything, correct. But did he bring Gane from nothing to everything? That's a little bit more. We got to do a little bit more math on that. First of all, Cyril Gane, nobody taught him how to bounce. He already knew how to bounce. Nobody told him how to throw a kick. He already knew how to throw kicks. Nobody told him how to, his chin or how to move his head or stuff like that. He already knew how to do it. Basically, Gane was already a Muay Thai fighter. He was already a Muay Thai fighter, Gane, when he got into that UFC story. He was already undefeated in Muay Thai, right? A tough guy, and all he needed to perfect, I guess, to be kind of a well-rounded fighter in the UFC was his ground game, which he did under Fernand Lopez. But I mean, he's not someone that you brought from crawling to walking to running like Francis Ngannou. And again, Francis Ngannou is not running yet full speed. He's jogging right now. He's not running full speed. But I mean. Gane was already running when he was there, when he went there. I don't think that that's the same pride that you have, and he knows it, and Fernand Lopez knows it. It's not the same pride that you have. Yeah, you have the pride because you have a beautiful fighter, a well-rounded fighter in Cyril Gane. Very dangerous, very accurate, very, very durable, and with a good stamina, right? Good volume during these when he's fighting. Yeah, you have a lot of but in terms of building someone from ground up, I mean, this is where you show your real expertise, and he did it in a record time with Francis Ngannou to bring him where he is right now. And maybe that's one of the reasons why that kind of animosity is building up. So that's a little bit my bark out. When I'm talking about that story, that involve those two guys, Francis Ngannou and Fernand Lopez. So that's the only thing that I'm going to say about it. Please, I understand his feud with Ngannou. I think that he was right to be upset about it. I think that Ngannou should have shown a little bit more consideration towards the people that have helped him, and give a little shout outs for the gym, for the coaches, staff, and the family. But on the other hand, I don't think that Fernand Lopez should get carried away and start involving Eric Nitzik and questioning his attribute, his values in terms of as a coach, as an MMA coach, right? Because of that story. Because I don't think that Eric Nitzik, except if there's things that I don't know, but I don't think that he's involved into in all that story. Now let's switch gear and quickly go to Ngannou versus Gane, which is, as we think, is going to be the next fight that is going to take place in not in the heavyweight division, but for the title, basically, Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. A lot of people are giving prediction, and especially on the French country, right? I mean, people are very, very easy to scratch out, to spit on Francis Ngannou, that same guy who gave them pride some time ago by you know what I mean, by defeating Stipe Miocic, because he defeated it, yeah, for Cameroon, but he defeated it from France as well, because he's been trained in France, he's been groomed in France. And they're replacing him obviously by Cyril Gane, who is a born Frenchman. If he's black, but he's a born Frenchman. So I guess that's the closest they have to a French guy. So yeah, I'm not gonna take it any further than that. I mean, catch my drift. So yeah, so they've decided to to spit on Francis Ngannou and to throw him in the garbage like an old pair of socks, right? Although he gave some good, he gave some good service to France and put France MMA on the map. As well as Fernand Lopez did as well, right? But didn't get the prize from Gane. But he did put French MMA on the map, right? But people are spitting on him now. People are throwing him away and insulting him. But it's all good. It's all good, I mean, these are things that are that are being paid cash. Karma is a bitch, like people say. Sorry for my French. But yeah, it is what it is. Right. So now there's this showdown, hoedown, and we hope it's going to be in Paris. That's how it's going to be crazy if it's in Paris. Who doesn't? First of all, even if people have to fly there, who doesn't want to fly to Paris for a weekend and a week? And end up the week like with panache, watching this game, and he might be in an arena, he might be in a stadium even, maybe the first a card, UFC card, that is going to be in a stadium. So that would be fantastic, right? So it's going to be great, definitely. So, and it's going to oppose, the most dangerous fighters that we have in heavyweight right now, I would even say the most dangerous fighters in the UFC roster, basically, all weight division included. So yeah, so what can we say about Gane? Well, let's talk about the two guys first. What can we say about Gane? What can we say about Gane? This guy is the total package, basically. I've seen, watch some of his fight against Volkov. His fight, I don't remember the name of the guys, yeah, quite frankly. But I saw his fight against Rosenstruck. Obviously, I saw his fight against Derek. I would say that his fight against Derek must have been the easiest one. The easiest ones to predict. Even if people wanted to make us think that Derek Lewis had a chance, yeah, you always have a puncher's chance, even especially in the case of Derek Lewis. But when you're fighting someone as crafty, as smart, fighting IQ, with so much weapon and knows how to use them, like Cyril Gane, the math is very easy to do, right? So the matchmaker did a good thing. They did their work. The promo did their work in making us think that and believe that there was a chance for Derek Lewis to win. But we knew what was coming up, and we knew what all along what the UFC was looking for. Basically, the UFC was looking for a fight between Gane and Francis, because there's a whole story behind it. There's a whole story to carry that fight. There is a whole story to promote. But the promotion is going to be amazing. It's going to be crazy. And actually, it has already started. When you hear about like all the issue involving Lopez and all the story involving Lopez and Ngannou, the sparring videos between Gane and Ngannou. We see all that. We'll see all that. The promotion is already started, right? So yeah, so that to me, that was an easy fight, and that was an easy pick. Right there. Now you got a guy that is the total package, that got everything. He's got high kick, low kicks, body kicks. He's got front kicks. He switches stand so easily, move like a lightweight. He's sleek. He know how to avoid punches. Always moving. Got a good stamina. Has got a good chin. It goes on and on and on. The guy basically is a god. He's unbeatable. That's what it seems when we talk about him, right? And this guy, on top of that, he's built a little. He's a little bit like a little Adesanya in terms of his fighting record, right? I mean, he's already Adesanya, like we talk already about already had some good experience in kickboxing when he got in. I think he had more, almost 100 professional fight before he joined the UFC. Obviously, it's a lot less for Cyril Gane that had maybe something like 10, 12 fights in Muay Thai, undefeated as well, right? And did good against champions. Sorry, I didn't look too much on his fight, but I saw some fight, but without, I mean, don't know the name of the guy that he fought, basically. But he had that fight. So again, like I was saying, he's not coming from nothing to something. He was already like a fighter, a professional fighter before he joins the MMA factory, before he joined the UFC. So you got a very crafty guy who's right now the only thing that he needed to learn and concentrate on was really the ground game, and that's what he's doing now. And you can see that this is someone that is very, very at ease. I mean, the octagon is no secret for him, and he's feel very good in that octagon, moves very well right in that octagon as well. So this guy is definitely going to be a very risky proposition for Ngannou, especially if Ngannou decides to play the counter attack game, because that's going to provide some openings for Gane, who's a very patient guy and who does a lot of feints, makes you up with a lot of feints. It's going to drive him crazy with a lot of feints, a little bit like Israel Adesanya. I mean, his footwork is crazy. His footwork is crazy, and we don't see all the little thing that he does when he drags his feet, both feet. He come to you like with his knees, flying knees, elbows. I mean, there's so much stuff that he does. I mean, it's totally crazy. The guy is something else. When they say that he's the future of the MMA, I don't. I do believe it. I don't doubt it. I was going to say he is the future of the MMA because he has so many tools, right? He's the type that people want to follow because, like I say, he has those tools and he knows how to use them, right? So that's Cyril Gane, very risky proposition. Now on the other side, you got a guy like Francis Ngannou, who was really who was the guy that came from nothing and that reached something. And this is very interesting as a story because when you think about it, I mean, this guy deserves a lot of props. And I think that we're not giving him enough props because this guy didn't know how to box. He didn't know how to kickbox. He didn't know how to wrestle. He had to learn everything. And by the way, let's not forget something. These guys, I mean, Gane is 31 year old, but Francis Ngannou is only 34. They only have 3 years difference, right? Which is nothing, right? So, to be honest with you, I mean, Francis Ngannou comes from far to be able to fight Cyril Gane, and it's normal that a guy like Cyril Gane be the favorite in this fight. I mean, you got a guy like Ngannou when his first part of his career in UFC was collecting heads. I mean, he was just hunting heads, taking them off, and like a predator, putting them on his neck or on his back, right? Wrapped around his back. So yeah, that's the only thing that he was doing. I've seen so many workout sessions of Ngannou, open workout and all that. He has so many tools. This guy, this is unbelievable. And people say that he's heavy or stuff like that. No, that's a lie. I mean, this guy is an athlete. He's an athlete. He doesn't bounce around like 5 rounds like Cyril Gane, but mind you that this guy is pretty agile. And if we think that he's just sitting there and that he's not moving, I think that we are making here a very, very, very big mistake. Now, I was saying earlier that when he lost his first fight against Miocic, well, that was a good thing as well, and it was a good thing because that taught him that having a bazooka or having two atomic bomb at the in his fist wasn't the only thing that was going to win that was going to win his the fight at that level, that this level to this game. And I think that he learned it the hard way against a great champion like Stipe Miocic, who took him down and schooled him on the ground. And he did understand that he needed more than just a big punch to be able to evolve at that high level of MMA, of UFC, right? And I think that he did make some adjustment in the second fight. But in the second fight, I just think that he started to jog. He started, to walk a little bit faster and maybe jog a little bit. Because I think that this guy, if one day a miracle happen, and I hope that miracle is going to happen, feel free in the ring, he can become something extremely, extremely dangerous. Uh, I mean, we're saying that this guy doesn't move. We're saying that this guy doesn't have any technique. Please look again at his workout session, at his open workout session. I mean, I know that it's just an open workout session, but if you look at the workout session of a guy like Cyril Gane, I mean, that's the same way that he's fighting. If you look at his sparring, that's the same way that he's fighting. But for some reason, Francis Ngannou, when you look at him in the workout session, he's so fluid. He's got so much technique and so beautiful and different strike kicks, low kicks, and very powerful kicks. He's got knees, flying knees. He's got reverse elbows. I mean, he's got all the tricks of the trade, and he's moving. But when he gets into a fight, you can see him like his stand is a lot lower. He's very crisp in terms of his guard, and the only thing that he wants to do is take your head off. So I think that in a sense, Francis Ngannou maybe he's a stressed athlete when he gets into that ring. We don't have the sense that he likes it, that he loves that sport, but he's just doing that sport for some means, which is to get the money to get by, right? So no, so when if we see one day a free Francis, and I hope that's what we're going to see on the next fight, then we're gonna have one of the most beautiful fight that ever happened in the UFC, and I think it's going to be the best fight in ever in the UFC. Because we definitely know what to expect from Cyril Gane, but we don't know what to expect from Francis Ngannou. We know what to expect from Cyril Gane because we know he has all the tricks of the trade. He has the wrestling as well. We just don't know how many volume he's going to throw and how hard he's going to throw them and what strategy he's going to use. That's the only unknown. But Francis Ngannou is a big unknown. We don't know how he's going to evolve from the first one to the second one, and Stipe Miocic, and we don't know how he's going to evolve from the second fight from Stipe Miocic to the fight against Cyril Gane. And that's going to be very interesting to see, because he has so much potential, to be honest with you, and he has so much things that he can improve. And to be honest with you, again, he doesn't need to have all the tools of Gane to be able to beat Gane. And I think that one of the way to beat Gane is to make him back up, right? Or to catch him and to fight him in the against the cage, right? Now, is Francis Ngannou be able to bring Gane to the cage or back him up? I think so. I think that Francis Ngannou is a lot better at cutting the ring than a guy like Derek Lewis or even a guy like Volkov. I think that in terms of punching, he's a lot more dangerous than Volkov, and even in terms of means, in terms of heart, in terms of he's a handful compared to what Volkov brought. And Volkov in the first round did bring a little bit of difficulties to Cyril Gane, right? So that's going to be interesting to see how it's going to unfold, how that fight is going to unfold, because depending on what Ngannou you see there, because sometimes we have the feeling that Ngannou is not even happy to be in the ring, right? He's so stressed and all that stuff. People need to make him understand that, hey, that's your sport. That's a fun sport, to be able to display your martial art techniques, your boxing techniques, your kicking techniques, and all that, right? And to show that you're superior to your adversary, and not only by trying to knock his head off, right? Which doesn't always work with everybody, right? And he had the proof of that. So yeah, so depending on the Ngannou that you're going to see there, mind you that you're going to have one of the fight, and that Ngannou, the Ngannou that is free, that is stress free. He's something serious. I mean, he's something serious. But one thing that is for sure, Ngannou had a lot of things to work on, and one of the thing that he needs to work on is to manage his fight, right? And the cardio. He needs to have cardio, because if he's missing cardio with a guy with a killer and a finisher like Gane, he's in a world to hurt. He's in a big trouble, right? So definitely needs to work his cardio. He knows that shots can come from every angle and every direction, every limb, and but the thing that he needs to do is counter with his own weapon. I think that this fight, Ngannou is going to have to use every weapon that he has, and for maybe more than 1 or 2 rounds. Even though I think that he's going to win like before the end of the third round, uh, but he's going to have to use all his weapon until then. He's going to have to use calf kicks, leg kicks. He's going to have to use body kicks, head kicks. He's going to have to use maybe his elbows and his wrestling. And if his cardio is not up to the point, because to be honest with you, again, Gane is going to test that guy. Gane is going to test Ngannou, and he's going to clinch. He's going to make him work. Not work only on the clinch, because that's going to be the part where he's going to make Ngannou spend the most energy. But he's going to to make him work, like kick him in the leg, move, kick him in the leg again, jab, and get him out. Trying to lure him, fake him, jab again. So he's going to definitely going to make his work, make his heart rate race. So definitely the cardio. Ngannou needs to work that cardio even more than he did with in the second fight against Miocic. Because in the second fight against Miocic, when he got out of that little wrestling scramble, he looked a little bit worried, to be honest with you. And I think that. Joe Rogan even mentioned it, that he was breathing from the mouth. Also, that's something that he usually do. But he did notice it, and then we did notice a little bit of exhaustion when he got out of that little skirmish, a grappling skirmish with Miocic. So he's got to be on point. He's got to be ready. His cardio has to be ready. He has to be ready to use all his weapon. Maybe not as much as Cyril Gane, but enough to keep Cyril Gane honest and a little bit hesitant in coming in. He's got to be able to use that jab, man. Use that jab. You got to use that jab. And I think that then we're good for for a great fight. Again, hoping that he's going to be in France. and that maybe in the stadium or in an arena is the same thing. It's not the same thing, but we just want to see that fight. That's it. That's all. It's going to be Christmas time. Um, it's going to be total Christmas time for that fight. So it is what it is. There it is. Like I said, you got the prediction. I think that even though like most people predict that Gane is going to school and drop Ngannou easy, I think that man, we need to respect a little bit more that guy for what he's done, and also again respect him because when he got into that MMA business, I mean, he didn't know nothing about fighting, actually, right? He was only fighting for his life, crossing the sea or the ocean, sleeping, finding place to sleep outside, right? And all of fighting for his life, basically. So that's what he knew how to fight. Now he's transposing it into the octagon, and we need to have some respect for what he has done in this octagon, and just don't and not only think that oh, okay, here's a guy who's bouncing all over the place, throwing kicks and all that, and he's just going to wipe Ngannou out of, because at the end of the day, Ngannou is pretty complete. He's a pretty complete athlete, and he's becoming even more dangerous as the hour goes by, right? Learning new things. The only thing that he needs to be able to do is to feel at home in an octagon, to take his time, not to be in a hurry, enjoy the moment, right? And I hope his coaches are going to, work that psychological side of him and make him loose into the ring, you know what I mean? Enjoy that moment, ravish that moment, and appreciate when he does a good kick, appreciate when he gives a good jab, appreciate all that is coming out of these hard hours of work in the gym, right? Learning new tricks, learning new kicks, learning new strikes, you know what I mean? So yeah, I hope that his new coaches, are gonna bring them that, right? And all for the all for the fans, because that's what the fans expect. They expect to see a fair fight. They expect to see a good fight. And if the other one opponent totally dominates the other, there's a problem. So with a sharp Ngannou, that is going to be amazing. That is going to be an amazing fight. Believe you me, this is going to be an amazing fight. Uh, this was better time, right? Right? Jerome Libaner, Yui, Mr. Lopez, and this is the new time, right? Champion, Dewey still there. Oh, Kamaru, yeah, my brother, and we got Eric Nipsick here. So, guys, table is set, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go. We're just waiting for the date. Let's just hope like John Jones is not going to mess up everything. And guys, I cannot wait. I just cannot wait. I hope you're as excited as I am, but I cannot wait. So do me a favor, subscribe. So please take some seconds to subscribe, and also leave me your comments and let me know what you think about the upcoming fight, and also what the little feud that exists between Fernand Lopez and Francis Ngannou, and also the fact that the French community now is kind of spitting and trashing on Francis Ngannou, who gave who put, I think, a little bit like France on the map in terms of UFC, right? In terms of MMA, because France had other great fighters like Jerome Libaner, right? But on the MMA side, he put France on the map, and they're putting him in the trash. They're trashing him because they have now a new goat, a new champion, which is Cyril Gane, who is now who is a born Frenchman, right? So let me know what you think, right? And I'll try to answer, and we'll do maybe another podcast where I'll try to answer some of those questions. Thank you, guys. See you. Talk to you soon.